Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So, since we've been talking a lot about the total return of YieldMax funds, I figured I'd go back to something that I had been doing, which was actually just manual spreadsheet analysis of total returns of Tslly and some of the earliest YieldMax funds, which I haven't updated in a while. I thought there would be like a better way to do it, but what I decided to do for now is just kind of have like a workshop where maybe we interactively go over, total return, and I'll go back to the spreadsheet and probably update it for the last few months. So here we go. Welcome. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet titled Tslly DCA analysis. So here's what I started with. I'm going to try to make sense of what I was doing. Okay, so we've got in January 2023, if we had invested $10,000 in Tslly, um, it was paying a 99-cent dividend at this time. Let me see. So this would have gotten us at the price of $20.04. It would have gotten us 499 shares. This would have been the dividend. And then at the end of that month, the share price dropped all the way to 14.46. By February, with the dividends being reinvested, we would have been at 9,801, and this is again last year. By last March, with the dividends reinvested, and this is assuming the same reinvestment date and the price applied at the end of the month. So by March, we would have been at 8809. By April, 9487. By May, 8715. And this is if we had bought November of 2022. By June, we were at 11,155. So things were starting to look up for Tesla last summer. By July, if we could have just pressed freeze and sold everything there, we would have been looking great. We were up like 26% at one point. And then it was all downhill from there. By August, we were still in the black in terms of total return with dividends reinvested, but we were down to 11,317. By September, we were at 11,718. By October, things were looking abysmal. We dropped to 1093 in Tslly. By November, we recovered a little bit, so we would have been $159.76 in the black for this one. By December, we would have been at like 10,966. Now I had calculated, I did a funky formula here. I had F55, which conveniently is a cell that I truncated. Let me see if I can untruncate it. Sometimes I do this stuff and I forget what I did. So this is E. Let me go over here. Okay, so F55. This was, let me see if I remember. 16,206. This was if we had invested. See the difference that it makes if we bought in January instead of in November of 22. If we bought January of 2023, I had like a 62% total return with the dividends reinvested here. And then I was following it into the beginning of this year, like right before the split. So I had like percent yield on cost. I had all these fancy formulas over here. So for January, we were down to 86.85. February, we were down here. And then the split happened. So I had actually summed up in this column the total dividends we would have gotten. And then the original amount of shares over here times the share price at the time of 916. This was right before the split. So we would have been at like 996.02, but the dividend yield was actually like 45% over here based on the total dividends if you add them up. And then obviously buying in at different times made a huge difference over here because in this scenario, we were at, this was January, this was April, July, October. So we were at 11,701 over here, 8,053 over here, 10,627. So you all can see the difficulties of manual math with these. So if anybody happens to have a better dividend calculating site, it would save a lot of manual work, of course. So welcome, welcome. Um, I don't even know how I begin to go about recalculating this on the post-split basis. I guess I would just take this because we need March, April, and May. So I would need to do this over here. Any input from the audience is welcome, of course. Um, Post-split adjusted price is a whole nother animal over here. Okay, March, April, May. Um, see the dividend in February. When was the split again in February? It was like the 13th or so. So we're missing like 3 months of data over here. And I've got all these funky formulas and stuff, and that's just one ETF. That's not all of them. Let's do something over here because I know you all are probably just waiting on the magic formula from me, which I unfortunately don't have. Um, I'm using one that I made from scratch. Okay, Jay had mentioned something about going to Yahoo Finance and looking at the price. I forget what he said now. If we go to Yahoo Finance and look up Tslly, we're at 1530. He said something about looking at like the adjusted price or something. So on the post-split adjusted price, we were at 43.53 November 28th. So we've fallen far, far from that peak. Our low point was April 22nd, where it looked like we were headed for another reverse split. The yield for this thing is still showing like 91% over the life of it. If I look at historical prices, I'm not quite remembering what he said. So the dividend that was declared May 6th was 69 cents. April was 68 cents. March was 81 cents. Oh, February 26th was the 1-for-2 split. February 7th, my birthday, was an 81-cent dividend. I haven't even been paying attention to this. All right, so we had 81 cents February 7th. Oh, you know what? It was double actually because they said 40 cents. So it's really this times 2. This would probably take me hours to actually get this right. I don't even know how to go about. So our number of shares, it was a 2-for-1 split. So we have half the shares we originally had, but it was double the price. Let me do this for now. I'll start it. I'm not going to do a 20-minute video. I'm kind of hoping that maybe somebody in the audience knows, you know, some site to use. I'm kind of it's like a desperate plea for help here. I want to figure this out some easier way. No, I mean the spreadsheet program. No, it's a Google sheet. Okay, I see I'm losing some of you. We'll figure this out one day. I'll just keep doing videos on it, I guess. Somebody told me about another YouTube channel that I guess we could check that out in a second. So we had, let's see, so $1.11. Oh, that was January 5th. Never mind. 81 cents. 81 cents March 6th. Let's do this. 81 cents over here. April 68 cents, and then May was 69 cents. 68, 69. So here's what we've got. I did this for some of the others as well. If we look at, let's see. Oh, that's not that one. I had it for, I want to say I had it for NVDY. Oh, SQY. What was this here? This was the stock versus the ETF. 10,000 in it. This was assuming $26. Oh, this is one of my ridiculous compounding examples. Like we'd have like 1.87 million in 7 years. OARK, I did the same thing for actually. So we would be, if we had bought in November 2022, uh, by October, I never updated this, but by October we would have been down 20% over here. We would have been up 17% over here. We would have been up like 2.5% over here, and then down and then down. So I had like 5 different scenarios. This was NVDY, which I believe was also not updated. I'll have to, spend time updating these, of course. But these were 3 of the original ones. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Let me do this. All right, I'll go another minute or so. All right, let's do this. So I had the same analysis for NVDY, and we would actually be, in most of the scenarios, we would be ahead. I haven't updated this since October. OARK, like I was just saying, but not sharing the screen. If we bought at the inception date as of October, we would have been down 20%. We would have been up 18% in this example, up 0.25 or 2.5% in this example, down 27% here, and down like 6% over here. SQY, I started to do one of these ridiculous examples over here. If we had bought on the October 23rd lows, there's NVDY, OARK, SQY. So same analysis. So I had it for 4 of the first ones. So anyway, the search party still continues for a legit dividend site that can tell us our legit total return without having to do all this. Otherwise, I'll just keep working on this. So that's about all I had this evening for you all. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Bye.